Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Getting to Know You. Very excited to have Kris Reck with us this week. She's a St. Catherine's parishioner, and most St. Catherine's parishioners know her beautiful talent for music and how she helps to lead worship at the parish, and just as an overall awesome presence. In fact, Kris, when I would solicit, who should we interview, your name was always top of the list. So you should know that several people have said that. So, hi, Kris. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today. It's been a roller coaster of a ride for me, just getting back into the swing of things with school.
Yeah, it's when we're recording this, it's let's see, first week, right, of school back?
Well, this is our second full week of school.
Second full week. And tell us where you teach again.
I teach at Northwest Lutheran School. It's one of the Lumen schools, Lutheran Urban Missions, and actually, I teach K4 through third grade art and music. Now, I used to be a music teacher for 5 Lumen schools, and then one of the schools closed, and I was at 4 schools. And then when COVID hit last year, they wanted me just to be at one school for safety precautions, both for myself and for the students as well. So I got to stay just at Northwest and taught K4 music and art through 4th grade last year. And then this year, I really loved being at one school. You get to know the kids so much better. You get to develop the relationships. And they said, yeah, that'll work.
That's
and
great.
I was thrilled.
When you say art and music, that sounds like 2 jobs.
Yes, it is 2 jobs. I do music on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then art on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and see the same kids every day. And then on Fridays, we have Fun Fridays, which can be so many different things. If they didn't finish an art project, we might need an extra time, or else we get to do fun learning activities.
So I know you're a musician, but I don't know the art side of you. Are you an artist at heart?
No. This is called the late in life, learn what you can do. I was one of those kids in school where they told me I couldn't draw, and I did not get good grades in art. And I vowed I would never tell that to a student, that they couldn't do something, especially in elementary school.
Yeah.
And so when they said art, I go, well, I think I can do that. There's, Pinterest, and you can find a lot of different projects. And I have developed some kind of self-confidence, and there's some things I can do. Now, Could I teach middle school or high school? No, that would not be my road. But
I bet there's Pinterest boards for middle school and high school art.
Yeah. But that wouldn't work for me.
Well, thanks for doing this interview, even though you're getting back in the swing of things. And you and I were talking a little bit before. I mean, it's got to feel so different starting a school year this year compared to last year.
It's incredibly different because last year, the classes were half the size. And so we really got to know what their talents were and what they could do. I mean, and especially I'm looking at 4, 5, 6-year-olds who need help with scissors or how to hold a crayon. So much easier to do that with a smaller class than all of a sudden you have 25 4-year-olds who don't know how to use the scissors. A little stressful.
Yeah, I have a friend. I remember a friend was substituting for a kindergarten class, and she said a student came up to her and said, "I cut my lip with my scissors." Like, how did you? Anyways.
Or their hair, or somebody else's hair.
Or somebody else's hair.
Not yet this year. Let's hope
it's only week 2. You got.
That's right.
Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. My first question is just tell me a little bit about you. I know you very limited in a limited capacity. I'm excited to get to know you a little bit. So, if I ask you, tell me about you, what would you say?
Well, I would start off by saying that I was raised in a very loving family, 2-parent family. I have 3 younger brothers, so I was the oldest, and there were 3 born in 2.5 years, and then 7 years later came number 4. So I got to do a lot of mothering during, when I was growing up, watched a lot of, babysat a lot, watched a lot of kids, always loved being with children. And I went to a Catholic grade school, St. Jude's in Wauwatosa,
I was going to ask where.
and then went to a public high school after that. I went to Wauwatosa West, so I've pretty much been in the Milwaukee area most of my life.
Yeah.
Let's see, I was married for 25 years, went through a very traumatic divorce, but came out for the better because of it. I have 4 children. James, who lives in South Carolina right now, and he's 42. I've got Scott, who is 40. He's currently living with me because his job was in a very precarious condition, so he needed to move in, and it's a very good, he's very good. He really helps me out a lot. And then my daughter, Jenny, who is 36, she lives about 4 blocks away from me. She's getting married next year, so that's really exciting.
Oh, congratulations.
And then my last son, Tim, would have been 35 this year, but unfortunately, he's now with Jesus. So that was another very traumatic event in my life as well. But like I say, I'm still standing.
Survive. I mean, there's something when something about a person when they survive a lot of hard things that you can identify something in people's character when you've persevered, I think.
Well, I say it all the time. It's only through the grace of God that I am still standing, because I've had to develop an immense sense of trust, I think, in the goodness of God. And that just has carried me through.
I'm sure that was, there's a learning curve there, I would guess, right?
Oh, yes. In fact, sometimes I've said the course that my life took after the divorce, I mean, that set me up for knowing how to deal with the death of my son. It really did, because I learned so much through being so hurt that that just built my faith up. And so that when my son did die, I was able to handle, I'm going to put it in quotation marks, to handle it, but to be able to, like I say, still stand through it all, and only because of my faith.
Can I ask how long ago that happened?
It was 10 years ago. Yeah. And it was an accidental drug overdose. So it was completely unexpected, and he was only 24 at the time. So it was very difficult, but I will say that through my faith community, we're extremely supportive. And even going back to the divorce as well, extremely supportive. And I'm going to add St. Sebastian's on there too, because I feel I'm part of that community as well, because I've been part of cabaret for so many years.
Yes.
So I've had so many, people who came to the funeral, not just St. Catherine, but St. Sebastian's. And so that just really buoyed me up,
People know this, that I am getting to know St. Catherine's, and I am like, I just love that it's so clear how strong and powerful and uplifting that community is.
I just can't, I mean, there's so many times I've thought, I think especially after my divorce, I thought, should I just leave and go somewhere else? Because my ex-husband used to sing with me. He used to be a music minister too. So for me to go back that following Sunday, I mean, again, everything was a complete surprise, and I can't go into, all the details. No. It was just a complete surprise. And then for me to come back the next week, I thought, should I go join somewhere else where nobody knows my name? And I'm just,
be anonymous.
No, that's not what I'm called to be. But it was a very prayerful process. And Deacon Ralph Kornberger helped me through that. And at the time, our parish director, Daryl Lashevsky, and, just meeting with them prior to going back that following Sunday, having to stand there by myself. But again, my community surrounded me with love and care, and I was able to continue on.
And you're still there.
I'm still there. Like I say, I'm still standing.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thanks for being so open and vulnerable about that. I appreciate your.
Yeah, that's a learning process too.
I'm sure it is. As you might not know, there's thousands and thousands of people that watch this interview. So I'm kidding. There's not.
Yeah, right. No, but I mean, like I say, a lot of not everybody, but a lot of my cabaret friends or, my St. Catherine community friends, they do know a lot of my story. And like I say, they have stood by my side, and I just can't say enough about them.
Well, then my hope is that people do watch this and they hear the gratitude in your heart and how they have been such an integral part to your carrying on. That hopefully they know. I mean, that is church, right? That's what church needs to be, and in the best capacity is.
That you're right. That is what church is. And it's not just everything. The mass is so wonderful, the ritual, but just being able to share it with everybody. Right. I think that was what was really hard about COVID too, for so many people, not
absolutely
being there, not being able, that we couldn't touch each other. And
Absolutely. And I'm currently like stressed because it's like, oh, remember June and July, they were so great. And now I feel like the nerves are coming back, and I just pray that, like, because we do know what a loss it is when we have to isolate and aren't able to touch each other. And it was hard. It was a long, hard year. And
it's still hard for a lot of people. And that makes me a little sad, that some people still have to stay isolated for whatever reason, depending on where they work or their health conditions. It's really tough. Yeah. And I miss some of those people really dearly.
Yeah, and we keep those people in our prayers for sure.
You got it.
You have articulated so well already about your faith, but I want to just ask you more directly. Tell me about your faith, and then if you go into your role and how you're active in St. Catherine's and St. Sebastian's Cabaret, if you want to. I just want to hear about your faith life and how you live that out.
Well, my faith life is so intertwined with music. I mean, I have known for a really long time that is what I am called to be, to share the gospel through music. And I do that, not only at St. Catherine and St. Sebastian, but the other schools that I have taught at. I wish I could come to a particular point where I heard that voice saying, this is what you're going to do. There was no, aha moment. It just was. And, I was very fortunate that, like I said, I went to St. Jude's, and I had such caring nuns who instilled the love of music in me. Mm. And I think that's what really helped. I learned how to play guitar between 7th and 8th grade, and played at guitar masses, and just continued. And I've never stopped. And
you play guitar and sing. Do you play other instruments or anything?
Piano, very little. I don't want to play in front of anybody. I'll leave that to the pros. Yes. What's great about the guitar is you're right there. You've got it, and easy to transport.
I'm not like you, but I'm a very amateur guitar player, and I love playing, I love singing, and but there's a vulnerability to doing that too.
But even for those of us who've been doing it for years, there's always a vulnerability, because my mistakes keep me humble all the time. You just don't always see my mistakes or don't always hear them. I don't show that I'm making a mistake, but they're there.
So you play guitar masses back in the day. How long have you been doing music at St. Catherine's?
About 40 years, 41 years. Yes. Because I joined when my oldest son was baptized. So he's, going to turn 42 in just a few weeks. And it was just like, I remember going and talking to the music director at the time and saying, oh, I'd like to be a part of the ministry. And, oh yeah, well, we've got this mass in the lower church. They could really use some guitar players. So down we went. And then after about, I think, a year or so, then the next music director said, why don't you come and sing with the choir too? So we'd come sing for I think it was the 9:30 mass at the time, sing with the choir. I would leave right after communion and go downstairs and lead that mass. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun actually during those years.
When did I had heard this, but when did Catherine's have mass in the hall? What
It
year?
was like, yeah, I wish I could remember the exact. I mean, it's been even before I was a
Wow.
member there, which was 1979. Even before that, they were having masses down there.
Wow.
That's the Jack Kern Community
The
Center.
community center, that's what I
Right.
meant to call it. Yeah. No,
But we called it the lower church.
the lower church. Church is where the people are, right?
And they were there.
Yeah. When you play music at mass or any kind of prayer experience, you and I were talking, you played at a lot of funerals, and what does that do? What does that feel like to your spirit or your ability to express faith in a certain way?
Well, for me, it's a way to give back. I mean, whether I'm cantering at mass or, like I say, a funeral or a wedding, it's a way, I know that I'm blessed with a talent and I'm extremely appreciative of it, because I'll be vulnerable again. I don't cook, I don't sew, I don't do all these wonderful crafts or anything. I mean, music is that's my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And so it is so central to my faith, because I'm actually doing it 6 days a week, during the school year.
Right, of course.
And that's why I feel so blessed to be at Northwest Lutheran, because I can incorporate my faith every single day.
Yeah.
With the children.
Yeah. Do you talk about faith a lot in your music classes?
I do. In both both in music and art, I will incorporate it.
Mm.
What
is that conversation like with the children?
Well, just even talking about self-worth and respect, and there's just so many things that it doesn't have to be anything major. It can be something so simple as, I love your picture and Jesus loves it too. Just even, dropping those little things, those little snippets of faith, I think really helps.
Yeah, it's in the little moments in life, right?
It is. And I also, every Monday, I incorporate a devotion into my music lesson as well, where we'll start off with next week it'll be about Noah and the ark and God's promises. And I'll always have some songs that revolve around that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And the kids like it too.
That's great. That's awesome. That's so cool. I bet you're a wonderful teacher.
I try.
Well, and you clearly know yourself too, right? You said you've been very humble and vulnerable, but you were also bold and said, this is my wheelhouse. This is what I know, and this is what I know I'm good at. And I also know what I have challenges at, but not everybody always embraces the gifts that God gives them. So something you've clearly done.
That also comes with age.
Yeah. You just get more comfortable in your own body.
You do learn a lot. You're older. I just had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, so happy birthday.
Another year around the sun, and I'm going, I've learned a lot all these years.
I hope you had a wonderful birthday.
I did. My 2 kids took me out to Famous Dave's. So we had a wonderful time together.
Fantastic. Yeah. I just thought of one question. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but I was just, it just dawned on me, or I thought, could you think of a prayer experience that you were leading that was particularly memorable?
That I was leading?
Yeah, or you were a part of?
I'm a part of so many. A lot of times, I shouldn't say a lot of times, but sometimes you are, I'm so concerned with how something might sound, and I want to get it exact, that I'm not always in that, but is it transcending that? Mm-hmm. And those are the times when it's like I get these little shivers up my arms and I go, this is it. It's almost, I truly feel the presence of God. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could tell you what song it was a couple of weeks ago that I did. And it was like, wow. I mean, it was just one of those wow moments. Yeah. And I love those because it just tells me to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, that's good. It's the little indications you get that you're connecting and in the right spot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. If you think of it, let me know, and I'll insert it when I edit.
I wish I could.
Okay, so I'll ask you. Hey, when we were talking the other day, you couldn't remember the song that really touched your heart, Kris, but you remembered, right?
I sure did, and the song is entitled Like the Deer in Winter. It is part of my Lenten journey every year, has been for 20 plus years at least. And it's just a song about always yearning for God and knowing that God is going to be there any time of your life, good times and bad times. Like the deer in winter, searching for a brook, oh my God, how my spirit seeks you. Everywhere I look, and when will I look on your face? When will I see holy God and be done this race? Day and night time to always seeking you, yearning for God, never be through. I will search the autumn, winter hard days bring, looking all year, summer to spring, knowing you will hear. I recall my past days when with God I walked, oh my God, mid the sound of laughter, as we sang and talked. So why are you falling, my heart? Why do you seem so cast down? Is this just the start of a storm within which can never win? Hope in your God, try to begin. I will search the autumn, winter hard days bring, looking all year, summer to spring, knowing you will hear. Now the sun is hidden, and I long for sleep, oh my God. I recall your mercy, deep calls unto deep, and I say to God, have you forgot? And the people ask, where is my God? God, forget me not, come to help my soul, come and make me whole. I hope in you, bend to my soul. I will search the autumn, winter hard days bring, looking all year, summer to spring, knowing you will hear, knowing you will hear, knowing you will
Thank you. That was beautiful. Yay. Thank you.
God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
That was good.
Amen.
Hey, my last question for you is, when you think about the future, what do you hope for?
Oh, first of all, I'm thinking of hope for, I'm going to start with St. Catherine, because we're in the midst of planning for our centennial year, which is next year, 2022.
Yes.
And I'm on the committee, and there's some wonderful people with wonderful ideas on that committee. And so my hope is that here to stay, here to serve is just going to keep, again, I love this phrase, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
I do use it a lot in my own personal life, or my own personal mantra, because we're here to serve the community, not just to serve ourselves at church. It's not just this little tight-knit community, but to go beyond that.
Yeah.
And that's my hope, that it does keep on going, and we instill that in future generations.
That was so clear to me at the community block party 2 weeks ago at St. Catherine's. It was so clear to me that it was a celebration for the parish, but it was really a celebration for the community. And so many people that weren't parishioners were coming in, and they were giving out clothes and school supplies and food. And it was St. Catherine's lives out that mission very, very well.
Yes, they're so generous. Not, again, it's time, talent, and treasure.
Yeah.
It's not just the money aspect, but
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's being present.
Exactly. And there are so many people who do that in so many different ways. And you don't always get to see it, because there's so many behind the scenes people.
Yeah.
That's what's really, I think, of any community, you have it. I know St. Sebastian's has it too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, both. I'm proud to be connected to both of these communities. They're
As you should be. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so am I.
Hey, real quick before I let you go, speaking of Sebs, what have you done at Cabaret? Because I've not seen Cabaret and I keep hearing about it. What
there's kind of
your highlights?
We haven't had one for a couple of years.
Yes.
They're putting together a virtual one right now that should come out. I was not able to be a part of that one just because of the constraints of time.
Yeah.
With school. When they were doing it April, May, I was pretty incredibly busy. But in the past, it was always kind of a joke for me that I would always be the one whose husband died, and I'd be singing these mournful songs or something. And finally, in a cabaret a few years ago, I actually got to get married. But a cabaret is such a wonderful community of people that anybody who is listening, I ask you to join, whether you're on stage or, behind the scenes or serving food or whatever it happens to be, because these people are so near and dear to my heart. I remember when, it's been probably 15 years at least since I started. And I was the token St. Catherine person for quite a while.
Wow. Yeah.
And then pretty soon we got a few other people joining in, Bernadette and, Elizabeth and Jessica, June and Mike's daughters. And it just kind of grew a little bit. And so we're open to so many more people joining.
It's great. And we're part of the reason I purposely don't do a St. Sebastian's and a St. Sebastian's Getting to Know You and a St. Catherine's. I want to keep building bridges. That's kind of part of the goal. And I think we need to keep looking for collaborative ways that we can support.
And that is one way. And it's been awesome.
Yeah. That's what I keep hearing. And so I want to lift that up for sure. So
maybe you'll be part of it.
I will see. I'll bring my guitar.
That's right. I'll play with you.
That sounds fun. I could learn a lot, I know. Kris, it was a total pleasure to talk to you. Your spirit is infectious, and it's clear that you've done so much for the spirits of everyone in the community. Because I keep hearing about it. So thank you.
Well, thank you, but only because, it's just such a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's awesome.
It really is.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, continued blessings on your journey, and thanks for sharing a little bit of your story today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.